Hey, it's Coach Jamila, and today we're talking about another secret struggle of strong women, and that is second guessing yourself, or really that self-doubt. And we're going to talk about two areas in your life where it may show up. One is in your own mind, your negative self-talk, and how you talk to yourself, and then also how it shows up in relationships with men. So let's get into it. I'm Coach Jamila. I'm a transformation life coach. I serve strong, driven, highly successful women, and I help them to crush their pattern of toxic relationships so that they can be happy and thrive in all aspects of their lives, okay? So this first area that we're going to talk about is second guessing yourself when it comes to your negative self-talk. What that sounds like is you're always pushing yourself to become better, right? So part of this is a good thing. It's what's driven you to be where you are and in all the success you've had, and that you're constantly trying to improve. You're constantly trying to become better and analyzing where you can, do things a little bit differently so that you're continuing to grow, right? There's nothing wrong with growth and development. We're all imperfect. We all have room to improve. However, you tend to be overly critical and harsh with yourself. If another person could hear, in fact, the way you speak to yourself, they would be like, oh my goodness, that's horrible. And so when you speak harshly to yourself, sometimes it even comes out loud, in that you will be talking to another person, say something, and you're like, why did I say that way? Or, I don't know what I was thinking when I said that. And so almost like you're critiquing yourself out loud before the other person even has a chance to respond or to even say, hey, that's an issue. And chances are they don't even see it. They're not sitting there taking your inventory or judging you, but something within you causes you to speak it out loud first so that it doesn't get pointed out to you. You see what I'm saying? When you are relentlessly teased and bullied as a kid, this is a coping mechanism that you will develop, in that you will get yourself first so that nobody else can point it out to you. And that way you don't get hurt. Does that sound familiar? But what happens is you begin to, you take it into a whole nother level, right? Because you are with you 24/7, unlike the bully or the teaser. They're no longer a part of your life. This was decades ago, right? But those things that they said and did that attacked your character, who you are as a person, and caused you to think, feel, or believe that there actually is something wrong with you inherently, that stayed with you. And you picked up those words and phrases and thinking, and you begin dealing with yourself that way. Another way another origin, I should say, of this type of negative self-talk could be that you had overly critical parents, an overbearing mother perhaps, that required you to do everything exactly a certain way. And so your natural way of being and doing things was not warmly received or accepted. And so it caused you as a child to think that perhaps there was something wrong with you because you couldn't do it the right way. Am I making sense? So those are the sources and the origins. But here's what I need you to understand, is that in order for you to be happy, you have got to change the way you talk to yourself, and you have got to start speaking to yourself with compassion, with love and understanding, and check the judgment at the door. Because if you can't be yielding and compassionate with yourself, it doesn't just stop there. It will limit you in your other relationships, because you will get to a certain degree and you will tend to be more judgmental and critical and harsh, perhaps in your communication with others, than you would like to be. In fact, that's probably already been brought to your attention. So that's where you have to start. You have to catch yourself in those moments and rephrase that negative talk. Flip it around, rather than, ooh, why did I say that way? Or don't say that at all. Okay. And when you hear it, catch yourself, go, no, I am communicating just fine. I am willing to improve my communication, and I am. I am willing to get better and better, and I am. I am willing to try, and I am. You see what I'm saying? Just flip it around, make it positive, and it doesn't have to be overly positive, just neutral, but just acknowledging that you're continuing to learn and grow and improve just like the rest of us, but that you don't have to be perfect, okay? Now, the second area is in relationships with men. What can happen is if we grew up with a father that was emotionally unavailable or just absentee altogether, it can leave us with a huge gaping hole when it comes to how to interact with men. There can be a lot of anxiety there. There can be a feeling like, oh, I'm going to say or do the wrong thing and he's going to leave. Perhaps you have some abandonment issues floating around in there. And another way that this can manifest itself in relationships with men is you can begin to compromise your standards and boundaries. You can begin to second guess what your gut is telling you. You can begin to extend the benefit of the doubt when you shouldn't, because you're not clear on exactly how to navigate these waters. And so what that can look like is perhaps he does something that shows deception. But rather than outright saying, well, he's a liar, you'll say, oh, well, maybe he didn't understand. Or, oh, well, maybe this, that, and the other thing. You begin making excuses. You begin believing, what he's telling you, even though your gut is telling you, this ain't right. But you'll say, well, I know I've made mistakes. I know I've miscommunicated things improperly. I know I'm not always, this, that, the other thing. You begin to personalize and think it's about you. This ain't about you. Okay. If your gut is telling you he's deceptive, chances are he's a liar. And so you need to trust that and go with it and not second guess yourself because you're afraid of offending him. You're afraid of him saying, oh, you're so mean, or oh, you're so judgmental, or oh, you're so harsh. Who cares? I just met you. We're just perhaps starting a relationship. I'm trying to determine whether or not this is going to go any further. And I'm picking up on some things that I'm not willing to just let go of. Don't let go of it. If your gut is telling you, hey, dig in and don't fall for the okie doke, okay? Really question, is this me? Personalizing it and trying to see if I was in those shoes, or are you really looking at him objectively and taking what you are receiving and hearing it the way that it really is, okay? And so that's what you have to do, is you have to take yourself out of the equation and stop acting like it's about you. It's not. This has nothing to do with who you are as a person, your character, your qualities, the mistakes you've made in the past. Just because you've made mistakes does not mean that you somehow have to settle for someone who is not meeting your basic standards and requirements, which you have a right to have because you've done the work to get yourself to a certain point in your life. And it's okay for you to want someone that's honest and full of integrity. Am I making sense? Okay, let me know in the comments. So that's what you have to do, is you have to, when you hear that little voice, that little inkling, don't ignore it. Trust it. That's your gut talking to you. And don't make it about you. So those are the two areas. Number one, start talking to yourself much kinder than you are. And number two, don't you ignore that gut. You listen to that and you take yourself out of the equation and stop making it about you. So that's all. I thank you for watching. Please, whatever platform you're on, like, subscribe, comment, share if you feel like this video will be helpful to someone else. If you have a question, you can DM me on Instagram. It's at Coach Jamila LV. And I'll also put the details in the description box below this video. I want to thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you here.